Good evening, everyone.
What up? What up? What up? What up? What is going on, everybody?
How are you guys doing tonight? How you liking this weather in North Carolina? This North Carolina weather. Hot
Are you
one
referring
day,
to the
cold the
pollen?
next. And the pollen. How about that? Hi, darling. Hey, Lawanda. Hey, Zakia. How about that? How you loving this weather? I wish you just come and stay or either make up his mind what it want to do.
Hey, I love it for myself.
Right,
was
Dollar said he
80.
don't like it. That's right. Dollar, it's already too hot.
I wish it was 80 degrees every day.
The one said she love it too.
Love it, Lawanda. Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, so
Maybe you and I the only two, but I'll be glad when it hit the 90s. Seriously.
No, I don't like the 90s. I take a even 75 or 6 or something like that.
That's 80.
Yeah, well,
That's basically 80.
It's not too hot, but it was hot out there today.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey there,
Dollar
Keith
said too
Claire.
hot.
He said it was too hot.
Too hot.
Anyway, y'all know what it is. It's already Tuesday night. Hello, Key Players family. Thank you for joining us this evening. And for those of you who don't know who we are, I am Keisha, and this is my amazing husband right here sitting next to me, Savalis Rogers, and we make up Key Players. Listen, for those of you who don't know, we host events. So if you want to have a couple event at your house or you just want to throw a couples event, we will come. Let us do the work. You can hire us and we can do the work for you.
Yeah, add that part. Hire.
You can hire us and we can do the work for you. And we're also certified SYMBIS facilitators, which means saving your marriage before it starts. We host couple events, like I said, and we also host, we facilitate and we do speaking engagements, dealing with marriage and couples or just speaking engagements in general. Anyway, and we host we're doing our first couples retreat. Woo! We're excited about that. We're excited about that. No, I forgot to mention, we've been married for 16 years. So we don't claim to know everything, but we do know something. How about that? And Savalis put up on the screen the Unlocked Marriage Retreat. We are so excited about that. So let's hear it for our incredible couples who've already signed up. Yes. And it's October the 11th through 13th, and it's near Virginia Beach, Virginia. And we're getting ready for an unforgettable experience because we're beyond excited. It's going to be a blast. Trust me, we like to have fun. So it's going to be a blast. We're going to have key moment sessions. We're going to have great foods, exciting activities, and you're going to get plenty of precious time to spend with your mate. So we are excited. If you're thinking about it, act now, because guess what? We only have 3 spots available. We only have 3 more spots available. So we're excited about that, and we hope that you join us. Listen, if you're listening to us tonight or watching us tonight on YouTube or Instagram or Facebook, please share, like, and subscribe on YouTube. We will really appreciate that.
Yes, we would.
We would appreciate that.
Like, share, subscribe. We want all of that.
Absolutely.
Everybody that's on live now, we ask that you would share this live now, and I think we get ready to get started on this.
Tuesday night. So we got another hot topic for y'all tonight. So if y'all come up with any hot topics or whatever that you want to talk about or you want to hear about it, listen. Or get somebody else's opinion or advice, because you're not the only one that may be going through a situation, or you want to share something that's really good dealing with marriage or couples. Please share it. Inbox us. Shoot us the inbox or whatever. We get inboxes all the time, so we appreciate those who send us inboxes, who think about us constantly. So we thank you. Hey, Sonia.
And if you all may be going through something, we won't say your name. We're tactful, we'll be discreet, and it's something that you or your spouse may have an issue with and you want other input, we'll do that also.
Absolutely, but you don't always have to be going through something. You could just
or you just may have a something you just can't agree on.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Something like that, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So our topic tonight is the real reason you said I do.
Yes.
The real reason you said I do, because we all have a reason that we said I do.
That we may not realize.
Okay.
And before, we all know love, so let's just get that off the table, I assume. Before we go live, anytime we pray and ask the Lord, give us something to talk about, especially if we just don't have anything, right? Or sometimes we'll get, like my wife said, an email or inbox from someone, but other times we don't, because we've been doing this for a couple of years. We may have covered everything, so we think there may be different ways to approach it, but we pretty much talked about
not everything,
well, a lot.
Yeah, a lot. The main thing.
So this was one of the topics that came to me, and I started talking to Keisha about it.
Yep.
And maybe a month ago, maybe. And I just put it in my phone, decided because I'm getting older. So my memory is not what it used to be. And so I run it by her, and her reaction lets me know if it's something that we should talk about.
Right.
If she gets excited about it and gives input, then I know it's something good. If she doesn't, then I scratch it. Just scratch it off. So this was one of the ones. And what made it interesting, it kind of explained us to me in a way, and maybe you all may get some out of it too. So like she said, what is the real reason you say I do? What is the real reason you got married? A lot of us go straight to love. I fell in love, and that is certainly, I hope, a part of why you did get married. But we think there are other factors and aspects that play a part in why you decided to take on one of the most challenging things you can do. Would you
in your lifetime?
In your lifetime,
yes, I would agree.
One of the most challenging things you'll ever do. For I say that all the time. It's the most challenging thing I've ever done, but the most rewarding.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What's up, Chris? So we just want to touch in there, and maybe it may get you to thinking, why did you say I do?
Right.
Do you know? Do you know why you got married?
At least some aspect, but then when the way that you presented it, I was like, oh, okay. So it was a new way.
Right. And like most things, we feel like it is affected by maybe the way you grew up, what you saw growing up in your household. Yeah. What type of relationships did you grow up in, and did you see strong marriages? Did you see strong families? What type of relationships, and what was the strongest form of relationship that you saw in your household growing up? So we just gonna go through a few, and like y'all always do, just input and just let's go.
But I was talking to somebody today, and I was sharing this conversation with them, and they were saying that they got married because they was trying to be a statistic breaker in their family.
Wow.
Right. So in their family there was divorces, and they got married because they was like, I'm gonna get married because I'm gonna break this generational curse. Right.
Wow.
So did it work? No, but
Chris has an interesting take that we did look at.
What did he say?
Chris says, I said it because she told me to get rid of the rest of the women.
Well, that's an interesting take. At least you did, right? So she was special to you. That's the one that got you.
Right.
Right? So good. Okay. You respected her enough to say, hey,
that's true.
I want to be with this person for the rest of my life. Right. So that's good.
That is good.
That is good. She got some good brownie points.
Oh, okay. I thought you was about to say something else.
Brownie points. No. Anyway, so the real reason you said I do, one is the family aspect. So I'm gonna take it from what somebody had said to me earlier as well. The kids. Some people get married.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
I like what Dylan said.
Dylan said I chose her because with her, I saw growth in me. You can talk about that if you want to.
I kind of fall under that umbrella also, Dylan, because what Chris said. Oh yeah, Chris. I kind of fall under that umbrella too, Dylan, because when I was with her, I saw myself become a better person. I saw myself kind of getting rid of some of the things about me that weren't positive. Some of the things that needed to be changed. And so I kind of fall under that umbrella too. That's a good one. I like that.
That is a good one.
I like that.
Okay, but I'm coming from another aspect. And this is not anybody particular, but it was brought up to me. They said sometimes people get married because they already have children together. Now, is that a good reason? Personally, I don't think so.
Neither do I.
But people do.
Right.
And the reason why I don't think so, because I have lived that. Right. So, if you have a child with someone, necessarily that doesn't mean yes, you should be married. I mean, but if you, for whatever reason, have a child, outside of marriage, and that doesn't mean to me now learning lesson that you don't have to, that you have to marry that person. Right. So
does a bad marriage equal bad? Is it, because since you say some people do it for the children, does a bad marriage also equal a bad experience for the children? You know what I mean? Is that going to be a bad parenting environment also?
It could be. Yes, it could be. I think it could be.
Okay.
Because if you already, well, I'm gonna just use my experience. So if you're already going through turmoil, right, before you even get married, and then you give them an ultimatum, let's just say that, right? And so you get married, and you got kids. You have, just because you have a child, right, and you feel like you already know this person, and we've been together this long, so we might as well get married.
Right.
I suggest you don't do that.
Right.
But that's just my opinion, and that's my suggestion, because it doesn't always work out that way.
Okay.
Right. So
that's good. Okay. You want me to start? You want to start?
Go ahead.
Okay. So the first one, like Keisha said, was the family aspect. Now, when I was typing this in my phone, like I said earlier, I was thinking about my wife and and I looked at one of the reasons why. Maybe I should start with me. I'm gonna start with me.
Go ahead.
One of the reasons why I got married was the companionship or partnership aspect of it. That being with that teamwork aspect of it, that being with someone who got your back and you got that back, someone that you work through issues with, someone that you raise a family or a business with, or do things together with. That was the strongest draw to me for getting married. And the reason why it was the strongest draw to me was because the strongest relationship that I witnessed growing up was between my parents, my mother and my father. Partnership, companionship, teamwork, doing things together, business together, pastoring for over 30 plus years together. That was the strongest relationship I saw. So when I met her and we started going along our way, that aspect of marriage was what drew me to her and drew my interest in marriage, along with other things. But I feel like that was the strongest aspect because that was the strongest relationship I saw. That's what I knew. Right. So that was me. So then you get to the family aspect of it.
Now, Savannah said that was me.
That's Keisha.
Because I was like, well, where do I fall in here?
And do you want to explain it?
You can explain it because I can't even remember what you said.
So the family aspect of it is the gatherings. The doing things, the going on trips, the having family over, Thanksgiving, Christmas, doing
hosting
things, and just incorporating the family into it all.
Right.
That aspect of marriage. And the reason that I told her that I felt like that drew her into marriage because that was the strongest relationship she saw as a child was family. Aunts, uncles, cousins,
everybody.
Right? Am I right?
Everybody. Family reunions.
Go ahead.
Family time, cookouts. Yes, that's what I saw.
Right.
Absolutely. Right.
So her view of marriage and getting in a relationship was based off the whole family. And you just come in on that. I just incorporated you into the family aspect of marriage. So when we're going back and forth, and I was like, okay, well, that explains some of the issues we had when we first got married.
Yep.
Does it not?
Yep, it sure do.
It explained why I struggled with having things. Y'all heard these stories if y'all been following us for a while. Why I struggled with having Thanksgiving here every year, and not being able to feel comfortable in my own home is because that was not my reason for marriage. I'm just being honest. It wasn't about coming into a big family, and that's because my mother and father, they come from big families, but they were kind of, for lack of a better term, loners, or maybe black sheeps of their family. They loved their brothers and sisters, but they didn't necessarily do a lot of stuff with them. That makes sense?
All right, Chris, thank you for joining us. Y'all, my grandson told me he loves y'all, but we can't suspend it to see him.
Say what now?
Spend time with if you hear this, spend time with your grandson. That's right. It's about family. How about that? Y'all, my grandson told me he loves y'all, but we came to Savannah to see him.
Sorry, grandson. Yeah.
Sorry, we don't want to impose on your family side.
Right.
Anyway, so yeah, I would say that. And then an issue for what came up in the marriage for me, when he said partnership or whatever, y'all know it's about the finances. It was hard for me to partner with them finances. So that's where the issue early on in our marriage came up with, for me. His was family, but finances for me. Right. So, but we learned to work through those things.
Right.
And we've gotten so much better. And we're still working, work in progress, because that's what it's going to be.
Right.
I don't care how long you be together, you're always going to have something to work through. Right. And the whole point is getting through it.
Right.
So,
so when I realized that, it made me, okay, well, this is, what drew me into marriage. But ideally, you need that plus other stuff too. So I had to learn how to incorporate the family aspect of marriage, right?
Yeah.
I had to learn, well, this is what she saw, and this is the strongest relationship that she relates to. So I had to learn to incorporate that. I had to learn to be more present on Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And Christmas.
I had to learn too, vice versa.
Yeah. And she had to learn how to give me our us time. You know what I mean?
Yep, exactly. So some people get married for security. Well, I think security and financial is the same. So is it the same? I would say it's the same. Some people,
I don't.
Well, okay.
I think it's different.
Well, I'm gonna say some people get married for financial reasons. Then how about that?
There you go.
Right? They want to be
secure.
So it's the same.
Secure.
Yeah, financially secure. Okay. Well, financially secure. Right. So you go out and you meet a woman or man, I don't know these days, and you just want to be financially secure in your future.
And that may stem from if you grew up poor.
Could.
If you grew up lacking, if you grew up in situations where you never knew if you had a secure roof over your head, whether you never knew if you had clothes on your back, food on your table, if you had cars, and if you struggle, with just basic stuff like lunch money and that type. If you grew up with that, it may draw you to get married based on someone who has money that will pull you closer to them, because you don't want to experience what you grew up with.
Right. LaWanda says she thinks it's different too, secure and financial.
Yeah, that is different. We're going to get to the secure part. So that's financial security. So some people get married just to be like, hey, I ain't struggling no more.
Right.
I'm not doing it. They will marry based off the financial portfolio.
So they could be a power team.
Or not even a power team, or they could just have somebody with money
to answer their problems.
You know what I mean? Right. So that's the financial aspect. Some people get drawn into that.
That's right, LaWanda. That's good.
Go ahead.
LaWanda said, or grew up rich, because they want to maintain that.
There you go.
They want to maintain that.
That's right. That's true.
That's very good. Too. That's very good.
If they grew up, say, with maids and butlers, and if they grew up in a 5-bedroom home with a big yard and all of that, they ain't moving to the projects.
Right.
They're not gonna do that.
Right, exactly.
They used to a certain lifestyle, and they want to maintain that, like LaWanda said.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
So, and they'll learn to love you later.
Right.
Wow. That's true. They'll learn to love you later and fall in love with you down the line. But right now, you got that paper.
That's right. Let's dwell on the security then, since y'all said that's different.
Now, security, let's go to the same household. Say you grew up, like LaWanda said, with money, but let's say your dad was abusive.
Okay.
Let's say your dad was abusive to not just your mom, but to you.
LaWanda had a maid.
They did? They did tell us that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they did tell us that. Yeah. So say your dad was an abusive, or mom, you grew up in an abusive house, or abusive grandparent, or whoever, and there was nobody there to protect you. Say somebody took liberties with you that they shouldn't have. You may run to somebody who is a strong-minded person, who is very strong-willed and no nonsense. And when you get with them, you just feel a sense of security that no one is going to be able to bother you, whether he or she is rich or not. They just got that.
Like, you got my back.
That you got not even got my back. I got your front. Nobody's even going to get to your back. Type deal, that strong personality, maybe a military background or a law enforcement background, where they are very aggressive when it comes to protecting their loved ones. So that's why I say security and finance.
From that aspect, I get it. I get what you're saying.
If you grew up like that, you may look for security or even love. That, if you didn't grow up in a loved environment.
And the one that writes about is that type of security.
Yeah. So I think you can separate the two.
Okay. Well, coming from that aspect, I wasn't thinking like that. So
see,
I think financial security. So I wasn't thinking like that.
But why did you think financial security?
Because I didn't grow up with the silver spoon or whatever like that. So I'm always, and then with some more traumatic experiences, that just make me think about finances. So
a lot.
Quite often.
Yeah.
Anyway, so then the traditional.
Mm-hmm.
So you get married because of traditions, right?
Everybody in my family did it.
Everybody in my family did it. So I have to get married.
I gotta get married.
I gotta get married, right? I don't want to be the only one left out.
Some people just follow a traditional path in their life. I'm gonna start from high school, play sports or cheerlead, go to college, join a fraternity or sorority, meet my college sweetheart, marry him or her, get a dog, have 2 kids.
The house with the white
picket fence. It's very bland. But that's what you saw. You grew up with traditional things.
Or that's what you was taught. Right? So that's what you was taught, because so often, like as little girls, we are taught to be a wife. I remember my mama used to tell me that this thing burned me up. Now I'm trying to tell you, and I don't told you before.
Yeah.
She used to be like, when I think I was a teenager, and so we were just like chill on Saturdays, clean up the house or whatever, or it'd be in our pajamas, and she'd be like, put some clothes on so you can catch your husband. That thing burnt me up. It used to burn me up, because I'm like, and I don't know if this, like, I used to be like, you don't need a man for everything. And so it started early. I was like, why do you feel like you need a man you don't need a man for you don't need a man, like, and that's just one little story that I can remember.
But you've told me that, but you never explained why that angered you.
I don't know why it angered me. I just know I was just like, because it's just the way it sounded. You like, put some clothes on so you can catch your husband.
Which nobody was coming by their house that time of morning. No. So I'm like, I never understood why that angered you so much. Because every time you would tell me that, you would get mad all over again.
All right. But I don't know why. But it just bothered me. I guess because I'm an independent female. But it just bothered me. I don't think it just the way it sounded.
Okay.
Yeah. The one that said she hate that too.
Yeah.
It's just the way that it sounded. But then again, commercials about menstrual cycles used to anger me too. I used to hate when they say, why do you have to say it like that?
I wanted to say, how about they can catch me? That's right.
Right, exactly.
And to even further that, because who is for you is for you. It doesn't really matter what you have on. For instance, I've told this story before. When I met Keisha was walking up the street with a gray big t-shirt on, no, white.
Looking a hot
white
mess.
And a pair of gray gym shorts on.
Let's just say I was in my childcare attire.
She was in her childcare attire. Nothing fancy about it. It was not form-fitting. No. It was baggy, so it didn't matter what she had on. That was who I was supposed to be with.
All right.
Thank God she didn't have on anything form-fitting, because my intentions, like I always say, would have been different. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that don't mean that though. Anyway, and you were still trying to holler. Exactly. Well, look, I had kids of all races.
5.
Okay, of all races. Let's just start there. But anyway, so that's so funny. I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, it's real funny.
Because my hair was really tough.
She had goddess braids.
Oh my God! You remember when goddess braids was in? I had just got back from the beach looking a hot mess. Okay,
I remember.
Still cute, but looking a hot mess.
Right.
All right, understand. So the traditional marriage, like we said, that's, I think a lot of people
fall under that category. Fall
under the traditional marriage category. Yes, and this explains why you see most people excel in certain areas of marriage, right, and others struggle.
Like for instance, I can say I excelled in the companionship, partnership aspect of marriage when we first got together. That was my strong point. I struggled in the family aspect. Right. Of marriage, like I've said many times, and when I say family, I'm not talking about immediate. I'm talking about extended family, in-laws.
Yeah, that's
all of that. Go ahead. What?
No, I was just saying, just because you was it's just your immediate family, right?
Right, exactly.
So it's just your immediate family. So, but with me, it was my whole family, and I'm like, yeah, y'all come on, you welcome or whatever.
Right.
And so when he struggled with that part, it was also a struggle for me. Right. Because I was looking at him side-eye, right? So, because I'm like, look, this is embarrassing. Like, are you going to come down here? You going to stay down here, to speak? At least speak. And, so, but then we had to work through that.
Right.
And I'm sure for me, with my situation, it was hard for him.
Right.
Right? I mean, I'm serious. Like, it was tough one time around here. In the beginning, it was tough.
But looking back on it now, we see why.
Yes.
And she struggled, as she said, with the part being a team, and partly because she had been a single mother parent for years.
Yep.
So she had her own way of doing things. So coming with somebody that you have to answer to and share things with and discuss things with, and that was difficult for her.
Very, very difficult.
That was an issue for her, and that was an issue for me. I'm like, I'm your partner, I should come first. I told you, I don't know if I ever said this. Like, she was still learning how to become a wife the real way. Right. That mess she was in at the beginning, I ain't even count that. That wasn't a marriage,
Hey, but I learned something out of it. But go ahead.
Yeah, she learned what she didn't want.
Exactly.
Yeah. Some situations teach you what you want, others teach you what you don't want. And so, I've said this before too, like when she would cook and she would fix Zion's plate before mine, I'm like, wait a minute, he did not go to work today, hasn't paid one bill, so it was little things like that she had to get over. And with other things like money, like she said, and being a team and realizing that it's us, God first.
We both had to realize that.
Yes.
Because being a team, you got to do family events even when you don't kind of want to. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to participate, at least show your face.
Right. And then she had to learn that you got to do team stuff when family may want to be a part of it. Get it?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons why we do the holidays the way we do. It's a given now that Thanksgiving is here or wherever we live in. And then Christmas is not here.
Right.
Christmas is immediate with our children, grandchildren, son-in-law. That's us. And then we go our separate ways.
And that's fine.
And that's
fine.
Works for us. Because we know now why we excelled in certain area. And it explains why we struggled in certain areas. And some of you all may be going through the same thing. It depends. It all goes back to the strongest relationship you witnessed, in our opinion, as a child.
Absolutely.
And this is what we saw. And because the other thing we wanted to touch on, successful marriages is when individuals discover what initially drew them and learn how to incorporate the other aspects, like we just said.
How we had to learn how to incorporate the different aspects.
Yes.
Because I didn't understand, it was hard for me to understand.
Right.
I was like, what?
Right.
I mean, you don't like family? Like, you don't.
Right.
When I say family, I mean, like aunts and uncles,
everybody.
whatever. I'm like, that I don't understand it. And I'm still trying to understand it. But hey, listen, I respect my, boundaries or whatever. And I learned how to work through it, and we learned how to work through it. But because I felt that he should love family like I love family.
And I felt that she should be a team player, like I am.
Yeah.
She's much stronger in the totality of the family aspect. I give her that.
Yeah.
I'm the stronger teamwork guy.
All because of how we were
grew
raised.
Up. How you were raised.
Absolutely.
And see, like she said, to be honest, and one of the reasons why I had to work on that, I'm gonna talk about me, is because first of all, that's my wife and I love her. And secondly, it will cause family members to feel like maybe you have something against them, or you know what I mean? Or what's the word I'm looking for? Or maybe you have an issue with them, and that was not the case. The case was I wasn't used to that. If we took a picture of our Thanksgiving at my parents' house and her parents' house, or Christmas, it'd be two totally opposite pictures. In one picture, you could get all of us in one picture at my mom and dad's house, because it's about 6 or 7 of us, and that's it. At her parents' house, you had to get a wide frame, because it's probably about 30, 40 people there, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Different. But we didn't let that keep us from becoming a strong married couple. And we don't want you all to do that either. It's just a point of realizing, why did I say I do? Because you think it's just love. It's more than that. It's more than just, oh, she had a big butt, or he had a big bank account, or, you know, we had, like you said earlier, we had kids. It's a lot more to it than that. And this is something that we discovered just sitting around talk. That's why it's important to be to do self-examination, which we all don't like to do.
Nope.
None of us. We don't like to do that.
Why you look at me? Why you look at me when you say that?
Because you sit beside me and you don't like doing that. She doesn't like doing that.
Oh God! But I do it though, because you have to. At some point in time, you got to self-examine yourself and be like, okay, I even talk to myself like, okay, Keisha, like, you know, you like, look. Yeah. So I understand. I
do that too. I talk to myself too.
Yeah, I just like, look, now, you know, you get convicted real fast.
That's a good one. That's a good way of putting it.
Hey, Miss Emma.
That's a good way of putting it. Because at the end of the day, you want to please your spouse.
Absolutely.
You want to please your spouse. You want to keep her happy, and you want to keep a peaceful home.
Yes.
And sometimes that involves doing things that you don't want to do. Now, I'm not saying every situation should be that way. I'm not saying you should give in on everything. You know, sometimes it's on the spouse to compromise.
Yeah, but it's all about compromising.
It's all about compromising.
Right. Both ways.
Both ways.
And whatever works for you, you know, like whatever works in your home.
Right.
That's what works in your home.
Right.
Right. So it may not work for the next person.
Right.
And it may not work in your marriage, is what I'm saying.
Right. It works for us.
Right. Whatever works for you in your marriage. Right.
And that's what happens when you marry your opposite, which I clearly did. Now, you know, some people married people that have similar, you know, that's fine, but we are complete opposites.
Complete opposites.
Complete opposites.
As y'all know.
In every way, form, and fashion. So we want you all to do a little examination, some self-examination, and really ask yourself, why did I say I do? Why did I marry this person? Or why did I get married in period?
Right. Was it for security?
Was it for security?
Was it for finances?
Was it for finances?
Was it traditional?
Was it traditional?
Was it family?
Was it the family aspect? The family aspect. It was for
or was
companionship or partnership?
A partnership.
Yeah.
Not wanting to be alone too.
Oh, that's a good one too. That's
companionship, partnership, not wanting to be alone.
No. I think that's
some
separate.
People get married because they don't want to be alone.
That's true.
That's called a thing of thing.
That's true.
Right? They get married because they don't want to live the rest of their life, you know, being alone.
I was talking with a co-worker today, and she was telling me about right after I got off the phone with you, as a matter of fact, when we decided what we was talking about, and she was telling me about a bad relationship she was in, and part of the reason why she was in the relationship that she kind of touched on was because she just wanted somebody to talk to. She wanted someone. Like, she stays by herself, excuse me, but she's one of those people that just needs to be around somebody, and took a lot of crap because of it. Some people are in marriages like that because, like you was just saying, they just have to have somebody with them. They are more interested in being able to say I'm married than being able to say I'm in a good marriage.
Wow.
You understand what I'm saying? So they're willing to be in a bad marriage just to have the title wife, just to have the title husband.
Behind them closed doors.
But when you get behind closed doors, behind closed minds, behind closed thoughts, you know, you're unhappy.
And you know what? It's probably a lot of marriages like that.
Yeah.
That's why you're seeing so many divorces, right? It's probably a lot of secret, I call it secrets, behind closed doors marriages. That's why you're starting to see a lot of divorces now.
And more so now because social media, once again, I think a lot of people get married just for social media purposes. Just to be able to post pics of their wedding, of their vacation, of what their husband got them for Christmas, or their Valentine's
or
Day.
Their wife.
Or their wife. Or their wife got them for Christmas.
But marriage is a serious thing.
Marriage is serious. Marriage doesn't end when Facebook log off.
Absolutely.
That's when it starts. I said that about the honeymoon. When the honeymoon is over, that's when your marriage starts.
And a lot of people find out, that way.
That's the wrong time to find out. That's the wrong time to find out. You know what I'm saying? So, and if you're watching this and you're not married, before you get married, ask yourself, why do I want to get married? I was listening to this preacher today, and he was saying, I forgot the scripture he quoted where it was saying, it's better to marry than to burn with lust, or something like that. I might be saying it wrong. And he was talking about in his church, and I can relate to this. As a child, I saw a lot of marriages put together.
I did too.
A lot of marriages put together.
Yeah.
Single woman in the church, don't let a single straight man with a job and a car walk into that church. My grandmama, God rest her soul.
Job and a car.
Yeah, I'm being honest. God rest her soul. She would try to get you set up, try to get you hitched up.
Wow.
He didn't have to require. It didn't require much. I'm telling you, just be straight in most cases. Be working and have a car, and even pretend like he loved God. You would get hitched. Screw compatibility. Screw getting to love get to know each other. Hey, he's single, you single. He probably horny, you probably horny. Let's do it. I can't tell you how many marriages I saw happen like that and how many of them failed.
Wow. And that's what I was about to say. I wonder if they still together.
Quite a few that I'm thinking in my mind, they are not. And if you grew up in church like I did in the 80s, you can relate to that. Now, if you didn't grow up in church, maybe you don't know what I'm talking about. But that was a big thing in church. Don't let a single dude, screw how he looked. How he looked. If he had a car, if he was working, and if he act like he loved God, y'all were getting together. Had kids.
Well, I seen that too. Maybe that's why I got mad about that statement then.
What you mean? Just
subliminally, I'm thinking now. Maybe that's why my mom used to say, "Get her put some clothes on so you can catch her husband." Maybe all of that. I'm thinking about that.
You saw that in church?
Oh, too? Yeah, I saw it in church.
Oh,
too.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Married for the wrong reason. Of course.
Trust me, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. That's something you don't want to do. And listen, you don't want to get married just to plan that wedding either, because you got to plan that marriage.
That's right. That's right.
When I tell you, you don't want to do that.
Right.
Right. It's something, and like we were talking about, I was like, people think now, some people I've heard say, they already thinking going down the aisle, they thinking I could get out of this. Like, right, you already have that mindset. Like, even walking down the aisle, you already thinking about divorce.
We kind of touched on that when we talked about remember the topic we talked about where the mother was telling the daughter to put a stash of money away just in case?
Yeah.
A lot of people got that just in case mentality when they get married. Some people still keep in contact with their exes just in case.
That's crazy.
Some people keep a stash of money hidden just in case. Some people do prenups just in case. And then my thing would be, why even get married? If you planning an escape, why even get into it? Now, I can say for me personally, I wasn't thinking that first of all, we had dated for 4 years.
Right.
So we knew,
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody. For instance, some people can be love at first sight. Everybody is different. But we knew each other by the time we got married. So we knew what we was getting into. So there was no escape plan, walking down the aisle. At least for me, I can say for me.
It wasn't for me either.
Right.
So, yeah, I just don't see how people do that.
Right. If you don't want to be married, don't get married. It's not mandatory. Right, exactly. It's all right. Life will go on. You can still have a fulfilled life, not married. Do it only if you want to do it. Is this something that you want? Because like we said, it's no joke.
It's no joke.
It requires you to give everything you got.
But if you want to get married, consult God, please.
Yes.
Before you even think about it. Right?
Consult him before you consult your girlfriends.
Exactly.
Consult God before you consult your family members.
Or your boys.
Consult God before you consult social media. Before you consult a TV show. Talk to him first.
Because that's the one that's going to be there.
That's the one that's going to be there. When all those others leave, God will still be in the midst.
Absolutely.
If you allow him.
That's a whole nother topic.
That's a whole nother topic. If you allow him. So
we hope that you got something about it tonight. This was good. This was good. The real reason you said I do.
Do you know?
That's something to think about.
Do you know?
That's a conversation
starter. That's a conversation starter. Yeah. Y'all have a conversation sometime. Well, maybe not tonight because it's almost 9 o'clock. But yeah, at some point you may, have the conversation with yourself first, like I did. And then I brought it to my spouse. And we was, yeah, that makes sense. Blah, 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 blah. So.
Absolutely.
Anyway.
And I'm winding down because I got to eat.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But I got to eat better now that I know. Yes.
Yeah.
But anyway, good evening. Thank you guys for joining us once again. We love you. Thank you for rocking with us. Once again, the Unlocked Marriage Retreat, October the 11th through 13th. Check us out on www.keyplayers.com/retreat. Check it out. We have 3 spaces left. We would love for you to join us. It's gonna be a great time, guys. Yeah,
we gonna put together something real nice, being that this is our first.
Yes, we are excited
retreat,
about that.
And that's one of the reasons why we wanted to keep it intimate. Not a lot of couples this time. The next one will probably be different. When you say,
I guess.
Yeah, depends on how. If we like this small thing, then we may just keep it that intimate.
Right.
Intimate
Absolutely.
That way.
So,
yeah.
Join us, and we hope that you can join us, and we hope even refer it to a friend, send it to somebody, and like I said, like, share this post, and also subscribe to our YouTube channel. Thank you.
Love you too, sir.
Oh, love you too, darling. We got to get together. He
got a birthday coming up.
Oh yeah, it's been a while. We got to get together. So love you too. All right, thank you. Have a great night, everybody.
2 fingers, peace.